Okay, Shalom. This is the brother Baya back here once again. Before I get started, like always, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rachakadash. Double honors to my teachers, the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. I'm gonna title this "Work for What You Desire," like Jacob, like our forefather Jacob, right? Something along those lines. Work for what you desire with the mindset of Jacob. Um, you whenever you desire something or whenever you want to accomplish a goal, you have to fully set your mind and your spirit, right? Because your mind and your spirit coincide as one. You have to set your spirit and your mind on accomplishing that goal, all right, or achieving that thing that you desire, and you have to be uh, focused. All right, you have to be laser focused on that. You can't, spend most of your time indulging in other things outside of what you're trying to accomplish, or you know, um, trying to achieve. Okay. First scripture I want to start off with to back off what I just said. Um, let's get Matthew the sixth chapter, verse 22. It says, "The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light." What does it mean for your eye to be single? For your eye to be set on righteous things, right? To be set on the ways of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, right? Which is the scriptures, which is the word. Um, Yahweh Shai is the word. The book of John tells us that. But if you desire salvation, you desire a righteous kingdom, of course, um, you're gonna set your mind on the things of righteousness that's stated of in the scriptures, right? If you desire what we desire, rulership and thrones and scepters and crowns and living with sovereignty and righteousness and living in glory. Well, the scriptures tell us this in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 21. It says, "If your delight be then in thrones and scepters," right? Your delight is your desire, right? They coincide as one. "If your delight be then in thrones and scepters, O ye kings of the people, honor wisdom, that ye may reign forevermore." And where do you find wisdom? You find wisdom in the word, in the scriptures. Right? So if we desire the kingdom of heaven, we desire righteousness, we desire the rulership seat, we desire to get out of these corruptible bodies and into incorruptible bodies that, won't get sick or won't die or have to deal with ailments. If we desire these things, we have to set our mind and be laser sharp focus on the things that will lead us toward accomplishing that goal and achieving that. Right? And the reason why I'm titling this, if you desire, work for what you desire, like Jacob, our forefather Jacob, is because Jacob desired to have Leah, right? But he had to work for Leah. He didn't just get Leah overnight. He didn't just go to find her in the marketplace and haul at her, spit game at her, and then, took her down that same night or a month later. No. He had to literally work for her. Alright? So, I want to get the account of Jacob having to work for Leah. Okay? Uh, so, let's see where I want to go. This is Genesis chapter 29. Um, let's see. Um, I really can read this whole chapter because it's going to give you, but I don't want to read the whole chapter. So, I mean, we could start at verse 10. This is Genesis chapter 29, verse 10, okay? It says, and it came to pass when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. All right, we know that Jacob, was on his own journey from leaving home, fleeing from Esau because Esau wanted to murder him after he supplanted Esau out of the birthright, right, and received a better blessing than Esau with the help of his mother, Rebecca. Okay, but continuing in Genesis chapter 29, verse 11, it says, and Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father. And it came to pass when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob, his sister's son, that he ran to meet him and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things. All right. It says, and Laban said unto him, surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him the space of a month, um, which shows you bone of my flesh. Just to throw this in there, when you go into Genesis and it talks about how Eve was made from Adam's rib. That's that saying, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. They were family. Doesn't mean that Adam was missing a rib, right? Doesn't mean that the men of that time were missing a rib. That's fairy tales made up from demonic Christianity. But continuing, it says, verse 15, and Laban said unto Jacob, because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be? And Laban had two daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. And Jacob loved Rachel. In Salakia, I meant to say work for you, work for what you desire, like Jacob worked for Rachel. But I got Rachel and Leah mixed up. But anyways, he ends up getting both of them. But we're going to continue reading. It says, and Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter. So Leah was tender-eyed, so um, she was humble, meek. She wasn't ugly, right? But to tender it means delicate, you know, weak, soft nature. So Leah was very delicate and a woman we will all desire to have in this time. But Rachel was the more beautiful one, the 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 more appealing one to Jacob, right? More physically appealing to Jacob, and that's how we are as men. We're visual creatures when it comes to women, and a lot of times we go after the better looking one first. you know. But yeah, and not only that, but Rachel was younger, so and he kissed Rachel earlier, so that showed you how he was feeling about Rachel. So it says Rachel was beautiful and well favored, and Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter. So you got to understand, Jacob had it in his mind that, okay, I want Rachel, I will work for her 7 years. Come on, man. I spoke about this at camp, but it's like the average man today ain't gonna be able to work for no woman for 7 years without losing his mind. The average man today got to watch porn every day, if he don't have a woman. Men don't have the discipline, the mindset, the testosterone, this testicular fortitude, so to say, to go without, and be okay with, just living as a man. And when the time comes, you get a woman, you get a woman. Men like to rush things, men like to, be hasty and too anxious. But Jacob that shows you the mindset, the beautiful mindset of our forefather Jacob, the qualities he possessed, the temperance, the patience, the mindset of willing to be able to work for a woman for 7 years that he desired. You know, you had anxious and, you know, hasty men even back then. That's why you had the law about, you know, taking a woman by force. You know, because you had some men that, you know, they couldn't wait. You know, that's nothing new. That's nothing new. You know, there's nothing new under the sun. You know, same kind of men you got today. You know, you have, you know, the same kind of men back then. Even though majority of men were stronger back then during those times, physically and mentally and spiritually. But yeah, that shows you the type of mindset Jacob already had. You know, so you got to apply that same mindset to the truth, right? The word, the scripture is likened unto a woman. So you know, you work to achieve this wisdom so it can lead you to the kingdom that you desire to be in. So you already gotta have that mindset. You gotta say, look, man, it's, you know, you can't come in here with an expiration date like, yeah, after this I'm done. You know, the Lord don't come back on this date. I'm out. You know, that's what the guys at the old One West did in New York when the 2000 prophecy didn't come to pass. They thought Yahushua was going to come back in the year 2000. He didn't come back. A lot of them left because they weren't really coming back into being a Hebrew Israelite. They were just joining something they thought they was going to just level up, right? They just wanted the riches and the fame and the glory, and they thought, hey, on this date, I'm going to level up and we out of here. No, it don't work like that. You got to learn what it is to be a son of the power, you know, Yashala, prince of the power. You got to learn what that really means and grow into your heritage and become the man the Lord wants you to be and live it because it's who you are. It's a lineage. It's not just a movement. It's not just a club. It's not just some hangout. It's not, you know, it's who you are. It's your nationality. So even if you call yourself so-called leaving, being off a Hebrew Israelite, you're still a Hebrew Israelite. You just, you know, you just lost. But yeah. So let's continue reading. Jacob said he'll work 7 years for Rachel. Verse 19. And Laban said, "It is better that I give her to thee, that than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me." And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days, for the love he had to her. So even though he worked those 7 years, it seemed short to him because, you know, the love he had, and that's how you're supposed to look at the truth. You know, you ain't supposed to count every like, man, we still here in slavery. You're supposed to love the fact that you've woken up, because if you truly believe that Yahweh is, right, Yahweh means he is, he exists. You truly believe Yahweh Shai is the deliverer, and you know the prophecies are going to come to pass, and you truly believe upon the angels, the chariots, the kingdom, then what are you in a rush for? What are you in a haste? What are you being so hasty for? Yeah, you hasten the day, but you hasten the day by, you know, occupying yourself within this word, these scriptures, all right, your duties as a prophet, all right, as an evangelist of the Lord. That's how you hasten the day. And then in the time, you know, it should seem like the time's going by fast because you're occupying on, you know, serving your captivity, serving your punishment, pursuant to the curses in Deuteronomy, but also, you know, doing your work throughout the ministry that you've been called into. For many are called, but few are chosen, right? So Jacob said, "Hey man, those 7 years was nothing to him. He knocked those because he had the love for Rachel. You know, he knew he was getting something pure and beautiful that he desired. And this truth is pure and beautiful. The kingdom is pure and beautiful. Yahweh Shai is pure and beautiful. We desire that, so you know it should be nothing for us to put in his work." Verse 21. And Jacob said unto Laban, "Give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her." And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter and brought her to him, and he went in unto her. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah his maid for a handmaid. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said unto Laban, "What is thou hast done unto me? Did I not serve thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me?" So Laban gave him Leah instead of giving him Rachel. You know, he worked those 7 years for Leah, for Rachel, not for Leah, right? So the average man be like, "Man, fuck this, I'm out." You know, I done worked for you, and now you tricked me. You know, the average man would probably take Leah and dip, or the average man would probably, take Leah and kidnap Rachel and dip, or just take Rachel. right? But this is the type of man that Jacob was. We're gonna go into his, how great of a man he was, right? It says, verse 26, and Laban said, it must not be so done in our country to give the younger before the firstborn. So he supplanted Jacob. Jacob's known as the master supplanter, but he got supplanted himself. It says, fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years. And Jacob did so and fulfilled her week, and he gave him Rachel his daughter to wife also. So Jacob, he really wanted Rachel, that he worked a whole another 7 years. So it wasn't until 14 years that he got Rachel. So you can probably do an estimate. Rachel was probably like, let's say if she was like 15. Let's be modest and say 15. Let's say she was 15. She might have been a little younger, but let's just say she was 15, right? And Jacob didn't get her until 14 years later, right? That means he got her when she was, in her late 20s, right? She was like 29, and that's if she was 15. If she was a little younger, she still was in her 20s. But he got Rachel a little late because of him, having to work, um, those extra years. But she was still virgin. She still was something we don't get on this side. We get the foul hand-me-downs on this side. And he was able to see her every day and joke around with her and flirt with her. You know how that goes. Uh, Pretty sure Leah was hanging around too, so it was bound for him to end up with Leah and Rachel. Um, yeah. So he ended up, you know, he ends up getting Zilpah, Leah, and Rachel, and her handmaid Bilhah. So he ended up getting 4 women actually, because Leah had her handmaid that was with her, and Rachel had her handmaid that was with her. So yeah, so four women are under his host. You know what I'm saying? But the handmaids were servants unto his wives. But yeah, man, we desire the kingdom. We should work for what we desire, like Jacob did for Rachel. You know, uh, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna wrap this up. Lord willing, this was edifying. Until the next time, I say shalom.